So you're having problems with hip pain. You feel like a rusty robot in bad need of some oil to stop the squeaking. It's hard to walk up the stairs. It's hard to simply walk. Every move hurts. I'm going to show you 4 of the most effective exercises, giving you a good chance to put an end to the misery. I'm Liebscher Bracht, and so you can understand why these exercises can help you, I'm going to explain first how these problems start. Most pain, also the pain associated with your hips, has to do with excessive tension in your muscles and fascia. And that brings us back to the issue of sitting, because if your legs are in this position, an important muscle, the hip flexor, becomes too short. There's some reaction in the back, your buttocks tense up, and we usually have our legs close together, rarely take a broader stance, so everything gets tight in here. And when we walk, we use these outside muscles to stabilize, so they also tense up. And that means in the front, the back, and the inside and outside, you have increasing tensions. And that leads to hip pain and hip joint arthrosis and many other problems. And we're going to put an end to this. Here's Ina. Ina's going to demonstrate and I'm going to explain. The first exercise we're going to show you is a fantastic hip liberating exercise. And for this, we're just going to sit on a mat, just like Ina, and you slide your right calf under your left knee. Now look at this situation. What do you notice? The knee way up in the air. And the first thing you want to do is bring it down to the floor. Simply bend sideways a bit. And then, number 2, make sure that your calf lines up with the edge of the mat. Move your foot up a bit so that this line and that line are parallel. And now we can see that the knee is sticking out to the side, that the knee is sticking out more relative to the buttocks and the hip. Slide to the right a bit. You see, now the thigh lines up with the edge of the mat, and your calf is in line with the front edge of the mat. And as you can see, Ina is slightly leaning over to the side, and that's okay in this exercise. And now you bring your left leg to the back as far as you can, as much as you can, without changing anything in the front. And Ina has settled in nicely into this position. Now don't worry if you can't do it like Ina, okay? If this is all that you can do, and that's quite possible, then just stay like this and try to move your foot backwards just a little bit more each time you do the exercise. Just like Ina is demonstrating. And then someday you'll reach this end position. And at some point, in the last phase of the exercise, you'll manage to put your foot down on its back so that the back of your foot is on the floor. And during this entire process, there's a stretch in your buttocks and in your left groin. If you've achieved that, make sure before that or during that, seen from over here, that you're looking straight ahead, like Ina here, in a straight position. Seen from the side, you're bending your upper body increasingly backwards. Ina, as you move backwards, where is the stretch getting more intense?
In my lower back and in my right hip.
Right, and why the right hip? Because we're pulling on the inner hip muscle that has become short from sitting. This muscle runs from the front, across your pelvis, and ends in the back, and this is why you can feel it. That's a good sign, a sign that something is happening there. And that means the great thing about this exercise, hence the name hip liberating exercise, is that you work on both sides, left and right. And we're going to do the same on the opposite side. We're going to show you. Ina's going to get into the right position, create a 90-degree angle, then the other leg moves to the back and you straighten your torso, look straight ahead, erect position, and then you move your torso backwards as much as you can. Okay. Now, it could be that your muscles are already extremely shortened and that you're so tensed up that you simply cannot get into this position. And this is why we're going to split up the exercise. And we're going to turn one exercise into several exercises that work on the individual areas. It's going to take longer, but you have the chance to make progress bit by bit until you get to the point where you could sit in this position. For the first individual exercise, sit on a chair just like Ina here. Slide more to the edge of the chair so that you have more space for your legs. You don't want to slide off. Sit secure. Then place, for your right side, your right calf on your left knee. Bring your right elbow above your knee so that you could use your elbow to push down your right knee. Ina, can you feel the stretch?
Yes.
Now, straighten your back, absolutely straight, and move your belly button forward. What can you feel now?
I feel the stretch in my hip where your hand is.
And your buttocks too?
Right, my buttocks too.
That is the front part of the floor exercise, isolated, so you can focus to first loosen up your buttocks. It's very important since the muscles in your buttocks, they're big and thick. And if they get tensed up and shortened, they're going to exert excessive force into your hip joint, and that's going to cause pain and also arthrosis.
Great exercise.
For the second exercise, we're going to stay standing up. Good stand-up exercise you can do during your busy day. Step back a little with your right foot. Then place your right hand on your right buttock, and you can feel if you're moving there. And then tuck your belly button in and move it backwards. Your right leg is straight and locked. You're going backwards. And where's the stretch? Exactly, right here. That's the hip flexor that's getting stretched. And here too, just like with all the other exercise, work for 2.5 minutes. Stay slightly under the threshold where you can't take the pain anymore, so you stay relaxed. But you should feel a pronounced stretching pain. No abrupt movements, and lean into the stretch. Now, if you can't do this standing free, you could lean on a windowsill, find some support there. So now we've worked on the front part, and the exercise on the floor, that was the part when your leg was pulled back. That's this stretch here. And now we need an exercise for the inside of your thighs, where you find the adductors. You may have heard this term already. Take a chair to give you support. Take a wide stance, as wide as you can. Lock your knees. And when you feel the stretch, do the following. Shift your weight slightly forward so that the load is taken off your heels. And then you move your heels more outwards. Then you shift your weight backwards and turn the tip of your toes outwards. Knees are completely locked, and above all, your pelvis has to be in a straight position. Tuck in your belly button so you don't arch your back, because that would bypass the stretch. So this might stretch in your hip joints, in your back, your groin, no matter where. Keep it at a manageable level of pain. Do that for 2.5 minutes. And now let's work on the outside of your thighs as well. And for that, you'll have to stand behind the chair, like we did before, and cross your right foot behind your left leg so that your feet are shoulder width apart. Just crossed. Stand up straight. You can move the chair a little to help you with that. And now tilt your upper body to the left. And then you'll feel a stretch here on the right side of your pelvis, below the lower edge. You can feel it, right? Now that's a worthwhile exercise too. Only few people are flexible enough in that area. So breathe in and out, go more into the stretch, do that for 2.5 minutes, and that opens up the entire right outer side of your thigh. So these are the 4 exercises. Clicking here takes you to an educational video that explains why hip pain occurs with lots of detail, more exercises. Make good use of it. Check it out. Get the info. Bye.
Bye. See you soon.